botalelanga bana yanga molimo na miteki likambo nasali te bakopanzanga sango Kinshasa mobimba bakotongoka kombo na ngai ekomango lisolo ya bato soki bakolia po batongoko bafingaka nsima basambwisanga natula te ope nazanga te nazali na mobali oyo akokanga na makambo maso nalingaka oyebisa yo oyebisa baninga na yo banda lelo bosukisa na kombo nanga ezali mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa ezali mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa kobotalelanga bana yanga molimo na miteki likambo nasali te bakopanzanga sango Kinshasa mobimba bakotongonga kombo na ngai ekomango lisolo ya bato soki bakolia po batongoko bafingaka nsima basambwisanga nazali na mobali oyo akokanga na makambo maso nalingaka naye lelo na lopango na bino mpo nayebisa yo oyebisa baninga na yo banda lelo bosukisa na kombo nanga mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa ezali mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa
nga naye natembe na lopango na bino kosukisa naye natembe naye natembe bopanganga bolambanga bosasanga bolambanga boninya
naye natembe
oh mama
naye natembe
ekwekese ya mobali oyo nga nakokufela naye namona ye natembe mobali yango kowapi ye natala na miso naye natembe oh mama
naye na tembe oh mama
na teme na lopango na bino na ye bobeta ngai na ye tosukisa ekwekete ya mobali ngai na bino tokowela sapato etengama simise pasuka na mokongo
na ye na tembe oh na ye na tembe oh.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. 3/21, 2021. Yes. Okay. I'm out of 20. Okay. Welcome, folks. Welcome. Samson to LeBron Public. I'm sitting in tonight for Mr. Zion, who is on a deep undercover investigation. And you'll find that out. Deep undercover investigation. And sooner or later, he's going to come up. But now I'm sitting in for Mr. So here tonight. And one other shortcoming of mine when it comes to these things here is that the other program that Mr. So uses to bring in Pat George and Mr. Zaru, I'm not quite up to par on that yet. I'm learning. I'm not up there yet. So I don't want to come and bring it up and mess it up, because where he is, I can't reach him. So if I messed up, I won't be able to reach him and say I need help and what have you. So what I know is what I'm using. The program that we've been using all along, that's what I'm using. I hope you enjoyed it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to be able to bring Pat Josh and Mr. Zaru on to have the discussion here as usual on this program. This is Freedom Watch, of course. Sitting in for Mr. So again tonight. I will only call it need 2 times, because he said if I call it need less than 4 times, I'm going to get fired. So I'm going to call it need 2 times now, right? I'm not going to call it need. I'm sitting in for you know who tonight. Let's see if I don't even want to call it need, because let's see if Mr. So, oh, Jesus, I just missed that. Okay, all right, that's so be it. No, folks, welcome. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. Let me welcome all of you again on Freedom Watch. We're sitting in for Mr. So this evening, and we say thank you for tuning in to LeBron Public Radio. First thing first, safety, safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us together. Thank you for your protection, as usual. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you, my Lord, for the love you provide for all of us. Lord Jesus, you know we, the Liberian diaspora, we have two tables. One is here and the other one back home. One here in the diaspora, we have to feed the family. And another table back in Liberia, we also have to feed the family. Lord Jesus, we've been visiting lately. A lot of Liberians have been going home in and out, visiting relatives and making sure that relatives are fine. Lord Jesus will continue to bless us and help us to carry out whatever it is that we want to do for our people back home. Lord Jesus, we ask you to bless the country, Republic of Liberia. Bless the leaders of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to know what is to do, what is good for their people. Lord Jesus, we also ask you to bless the host country. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, folks. I will now call your knee again. Because you say I'm going to call your knee 4 times. I think I made a mistake. I'll call your knee 3 times. I'm not going to call the other one again. So let's see if you're able to fire the liberal progressive, the people liberal progressive. If you're able to fire him, let's see. I will call your knee. I want to call your knee 3 times because the third one that was a mistake. I'm not going to call your knee again. Again, folks, Samson told Labrador Public, I'm sitting in here tonight again on Freedom Watch. Of course, there's Freedom Watch. You usually come out here and watch Mr. Jesus. Okay, all right, okay, Mr. So, okay, because I messed up now. I messed up because he's going to call me tonight and say, you see, you do it, I'm going to fire you. I call his name 4 times now. Okay, I'm sitting in, folks, tonight for Mr. Soul, who usually hosts the Freedom Watch, and we're doing our best. Welcome. Let's go ahead and start our program. As usual, when we sit here, we usually come out to tell you who the leader of the country of the Republic of Liberia is. Liberia is not a banana republic, folks. This is the president of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Weah. Who is our president? And he's only going to be there for 6 years. After that, we're going to bring in another person, according to me. That's what I want. But in the meantime, everything about the Republic of Liberia, I must respect the leader. I must respect the rules of the Republic of Liberia. I cannot violate any rule in Liberia. Doesn't matter who leadership is on. Under Dr. Weah, we're respecting and we will respect the rule. Why? Because any one of you could be in our office tomorrow. And you will want people to respect you as an individual and also respect the office of the president. Liberia is not a failed state. Millions and millions of Liberians are going to get up tomorrow. Safe. It's not a failed state. We want to thank the people, the leadership of the Republic of Liberia, for giving us a wonderful opportunity to continue to run the country. We don't agree with many of the things they're doing, but when it comes to safety, Liberia is safe. Thank you. Let's go ahead. That's our president. So, quite recently, I just like to do this, and I'm going to be doing this there for quite a while. Quite recently, Dr. Weah went on a county tour to go say hi to people and see what's going on. So he started, from county to county, Bon County, Nima County. He got in Granjide. Overwhelmingly support, the kinds of welcome he got in Granjide. He never got that kind of welcome anywhere else, not even in his own county. But of course, people of Granjide County, ever since Dr. Weah was on the stage, political stage that is, he's always gotten 100% support for Granjide County. Except for me. I don't support him. But I'm alone, one person. Where me one vote, where me one vote can do nothing. So 100% from Granjide. So we're not surprised. But then the president decided he was going to continue on. So when he got to his home county now, place where he grew up, the village, he got in that village. And instantly, he recognized many of the people, childhood friends. He recognized the village and the stuff. And he decided, President of the Republic of Liberia, thank you. Let's take the hat of the president, put it down. John Manor, we are right now. And he got on with it. And this is what I'm going to be showing you right now. This is the spirit of unity. I think I explained to you guys here before. This is the spirit of unity. So from now on, I'll be opening my show like this with Dr. We are trying to unite us. But however, I've always explained this to you guys. Immediately after even before the week is over, they will put their foot, CDC will put their foot in their mouth again. They would never fail. They always do that. So I'm trying my best. Okay, this is Dr. We are trying to unite the people, sinking the uniting crowd. This is not battle crowd. This is not war crowd. CDC, sour. This is not sour. This is unity crowd. This is the cry for unity. This is not battle crowd. That CDC battle crowd part that on that Montreal, thing you keep in Montreal. The one is for us Southeastern. This is how we unify people. That CDC, Sao, and work all kind of South African thing you're doing Montreal, you're keeping Montreal. But when the man got in the Southeastern, he decided to share the coat of South Moserado County, South African, he decided to share that, took the coat out and put on the coat of Southeastern. And this time, when you put on that coat of Southeastern, you're there to unify. You ain't no battle cry. We're not fighting among ourselves. What CDC always coming up with battle cry, battle this, battle that. No. When the president got in that place, he decided to share the CDC battle cry, the Nyama thing. He said, this is me unifying people. Unification time. Let's listen to it. Samson, I'm on it again. I'm set in for Mr. Soul, as I said. I'm free to watch, that is. But let's watch Dr. Weir as he tried to unify the group. He recognized many of the people because he grew up with many of them. Let's watch Samson to Labron Pabrido. That's the battle cry. That's the, not battle cry, please, battle cry my foot. That's the unification process. He's unifying the group. Now, have you had that unification process? The group are united. And guess what? This is why I keep telling you. I have an issue here yesterday. I'm not going to call name. There was a young kid that came on. They do shipments, so they're supposed to ship some stuff to Liberia. So two young kids, very young, about maybe 22, 23 or something like that, Liberian kids. So one of them, he said, Papi, how long you been here? And I said, I came here when I was around some 17, 18, 19, something like that, whatever age. So he said, but how long? I said, maybe about 60 years or so, all last that. So he said, I came straight from Crusoeville. So I said, you don't know Montreal? He said, no, I don't know much about Montreal. I come from Crusoeville. I laughed yesterday, was so funny. All the way from Crusoeville. He stepped in Montreal, Crusoeville, Ivory Coast, United States. Many Liberians not like that. Many of them don't know about Montreal Council. So, but anyway, here's the thing I keep saying to many of you, okay? If you were from the countryside like me, you came to Montreal at a very young age like me, then you decided, you put your head in the book, you don't want to go visit back home. It's only a matter of time before you start forgetting what happened back home. And many of our brothers and sisters, another good friend of mine, very good friend of mine, Kofa, Flanty, Honorable Kufa, Flanty Kufa, Deputy Speaker, very good friend of mine, very good friend of ours. Let's put it that way. But Kufa and the rest of the people that I know, they're highly educated. And you know education business, you don't play with it. So when Kufa left, Kufa is from the Southeast as well. But when he left, he put his head in a book. He didn't know anything about the culture of people, but he's still from Southeast. So the people over there in Southeast, they elected him as their representative. I think it was Crew country. So they have him as their representative. So Kofa now, if from a place, he can speak the dialect a little bit maybe, because Kofa myself, we never sat down to speak Crew one day. So Kofa went over there with the president. Now, my people, I'm getting ready to show you some video. Kofa have no clue. After the president finished unifying the people, they were hot. They were all unified now. They're ready to carry on the tradition. They're ready to carry on the culture. Kofa there, you don't know where to start. You don't know where to go. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Representative Honorable Kofa, have no clue. I mean, you can watch the video and tell me what I'm making it up. Let's watch this video and tell me what Kofa knew what you were doing. I don't know. When I go to Morea, when I go to Labrador, I'll purposely bring this up and I will laugh at it too. But let's watch this. This is another serious thing as well. He's president of the Republic of Dr. Weah, that is. But at this particular moment, he's not even thinking about being president. He knows that Kofa is the representative from that area. Not only that, he also knows that Kofa is their leader with respect to the area Kofa representing. So in the culture, whenever, even if you're older than the person, even if you're president of Liberia, but the fact that you're getting ready to do the culture demands that the person who is your representative, the person who is the chief, lead the group. Kofa now has no clue what this. All he knew he got dressed and he thought he was going to play the quipa here. So he dressed like the culture would demand, but down to perform, Kofa was lost. Let's watch this. So the president trying to talk, but come in front now. You the boss, come in front. Then he said, me, who, me? He said, yeah. Then Kofa going like that. Folks, I'm telling you, if you don't know the culture or the book, and Kofa is so smart. He took the bar exam and came number 1. In other words, I believe he made 100. Kofa is so smart. Even he took the bar exam here in North Carolina, scored high as well. So good lawyer, very smart, intelligent. However, in this area, that's a different issue. Let's watch Kofa and Dr. Weah. Samson told Labrador Public Radio. It's not necessary to go on. All you can see is that Kofa was out of place. You know, he came out there and going like that. What? The culture, the children, they're all sweating. And you're there doing Kofa the day I come to Morea will be laughing at you. Or the day I hear Kofa in America will call him. I might just, because I used to invite Kofa on my show before anyway. So I might just invite him one day and we have the fun about that. But folks, on a very serious note, that is Dr. Weah when he went to travel. the southeastern, going southeastern tour the last time, and I thought he did a wonderful job. The report and the review from that trip had a high mark for Dr. Weah. However, he's president of the Republic of Liberia. Secondly, he's also president of the CDC-led government. Having had the higher mark, CDC, they always put in a 14 a month. So there's a lot more that's going on. That now all that high mark, you will start retracting. People are going to say, hey, yeah, he did well, but they're coming be bought all over the place now. But anyway, let's go on a very serious note. So I have some issue quite recently. I'm going to be discussing this particular issue here. Okay. So quite recently, like I state, the Liberian National Police, sometime a week or so ago, when let me see, okay. When was this one? Okay. On the 16th of March or so, the Liberian police killed an armed robber. They went out and there was a gunfight between the armed robber and the Liberian police. And the armed robber, they call one of the notorious, according to the story, one of the notorious armed robbers was killed. I'm not going to play the video now. Maybe I'll do that another time, but I'm not going to do that tonight because the video has some graphic and I'm not too comfortable with those kinds of stuff. So, Honorable Patrice Suri, who is the Inspector General, came out in the paper and blamed the court. That the court releasing armed robbers in the community and causing havoc. So then the question was, how did you even engage the armed robbers? Was it something that the police came upon, crime was in progress? Or was there some sort of a warrant that were issued by the court? And the reason I'm putting all of these questions up is that if you blame the court and you say the court is at fault, how can you separate that and yet still you say you're working within the judiciary system? Armed robbery is a crime. If you go to arrest somebody and the person having to resist the arrest, call your bluff. And not only calling your bluff, but trying to harm you and your people, you have the right to defend yourself. There's no question asked. But I did not hear anything about whether this person, whether the police challenging, and whether it was in the process of the crime when he was caught or when he was engaged, or was there some sort of a arrest warrant? So on the video, Inspector Patrice Suru was warning the other armed robbers and said, we know who you are. Turn yourself in or we will come after you. And if we do, you engage us. And I'm just paraphrasing, but I'm not paraphrasing far apart. I don't want to say I'm quoting. But if you engage us, we will come with heavy hand. And you're not going to survive. A day or so ago, another armed robber was killed. And there's a video for that. I'm not going to be playing those things right now. Liberia is a safe state. I've told you that already. So I'm not questioning any of the motives. If this was not Patrice Suru, Honorable Patrice Suru, I would be sitting out here questioning the motives of the police. But Honorable Patrice Suru, in all of my engagement with Liberian issue since the ascending of CDC-led government, which Mr. Sulu, or Honorable Sulu is part of, he's always, for me, he's always a little bit different in terms of how he take the police apparatus to engage the public. There are many many instances that I believe that he did a little bit more than what it's supposed to be, like the case of Yeka Koluba. But many other times, in the case of demonstrators getting in the street, the way he handled that, I'm so happy to have him. So I'm not going to say that, because I think from his past record, with respect, with my belief what he has done in the past, I will give him deference on this one. But let us also remember that armed robbers, they also have rights. They cannot just be killed nilly-willy. If that's the case, then the police should not even be involved, and leave it with the community. Let them do a mob justice. But the issue for me is this: the second armed robber that was killed, what process was it? Was it through engagement by the police? The police went out, and I will go through and play. I want you to go and view the video, because I'm going to come back tomorrow and go through the same process. Hopefully by then you will have had more information to engage me. Now, reason I'm talking about this tonight is that Liberia, yes, it's a safe state. But let's also remember, Liberia just had a civil war. In terms of years, you would say recent. Okay? Now, before that, Liberia is notorious of setting up certain group, death squad, and here and there, this group, ETU, WWU, all kinds of U, they got different units. So even if we're going to approach this type of stuff, armed robbery, we want to save life. But let us also bear in mind that the armed robbers themselves, they have rights. They must be able to be apprehended if you can. Bring them in and let them be adjudicated. And if they're found guilty, they face the weight of the law. Now, my concern here is, if Patrice Sulu, who is the Inspector General, will publicly come out and blame the courts, the court, who are the arbitrators of criminal activities, to carry anybody you found guilty, you have to go through the court to be found guilty. But if Patrice Sulu is saying that the case of armed robbers in Liberia, if he's blaming the court for that, are we to believe that he's working hand in hand with the court system? Think about it, folks. Think about it. I don't want to face the armed robber in Liberia. If I go to Liberia, I don't want to see them. I don't want them to visit me either. So if this is the way to clean this, yes, I have no issue. But I'm a liberal progressive. So I look at these things from a broad perspective. Let's put it that way. And since we know every Liberian, until your right as a citizen is suspended, you have the full right of due process. It doesn't matter what kinds of crime you committed, until that crime can be adjudicated that yes, he has been found guilty, then your right as an individual will be suspended based on the punishment or whatever is prescribed by the Constitution or by the court. So armed robbers, I don't defend those people. Those are heinous crimes. But if we're going to build institutions, if we're going to call ourselves a safe state, these are kinds of stuff that make us or safe state. These are kinds of stuff that make international community to believe in our system. Armed robber is caught. Go to court, the court sentence him. But if Patrice Sulu will come out publicly and said the court is the problem, because whenever these people are arrested, they release them. So what are you telling me? Immediately after that, you have killed 2 armed robbers. Are you now saying that because the court released these people, and folks, I'm just saying something here. I'm not saying that's what happened. But I have the right to speculate. I have the right to infer as well. So if you're saying the court is the problem, you killed 2 armed robbers now. So are you trying to circumvent the court system? Because you're saying the court is the problem. So if the court is the problem, obviously the court, according to Patrice Sulu, then the court is not the place to resolve the armed robbery issue. So if the court is not the place to resolve the armed robbery issue, where do we go? Because the police do not have the authority to kill just like that because they hate the process of the court. The police are not the judge. The police are not the jury. They have a function to apprehend and file cases against individuals. So if we're going to do that, where does it stop? Where does it stop? And I'll give you an instance right now. Here in the United States, those of us who consider ourselves a political junkie, we follow the political activities here in the United States. And as African American, or African living in America, whatever you want to call yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So quite recently, in the last 3 years, it's been very, very bad for the African American in America with respect to the law enforcement. You know what I'm talking about. But when Sadie was burning, because of what happened in Minnesota, there were other ethnic groups that were not part of that kinds of protest. The Asian American were not heavily involved. You did not hear anything. Many of the Asian American heavyweight did not participate, did not speak much about what was happening with the African American. These kinds of stuff don't stay like that. And quite recently, the same stuff that these things used to come to African American, they have visited them now. Every one of them are speaking up, which is the right thing to do. This country, there's no place for hate. But the point here is this. When you get together in numbers, there's strength. If these people were all to put together and say, this is not going to stand, when the African American were protesting, struggling, every one of us should have been together and speak up. Then perhaps people will know that these things are serious. But when you start separating yourself from a particular city, oh, this thing is not to me right now. When they get to you, then what? This is exactly my opinion. This is what's happening right here in the United States. Let's go back to Liberia with the armed robbery. Yeah, you can say these people are they're crime criminals. They kill people. They commit heinous crimes. I agree. I'm not disputing it. But that does not mean in less than a month, 2 armed robbers has been killed. A different day. The Inspector General told us the court was the problem. The inspector general told us they were coming after those people, the armed robbers. What faction? How are they going after these people? I don't know much of these things. I'm going to look into it. But I'm saying when you're not careful, it could be armed robber tonight. What happened the next time it becomes somebody else? And they say, oh, this person is dangerous. You know, in order for people, any society, if you want to make a particular group or a person less than a human being, you first degrade them in public. And then once their statures as human being become less than what they're supposed to have, then whatever harm you do to them is nothing much. People will regret later, but at that moment, nobody will come to their defense. The country of Liberia. Let us be careful. Let us be careful. If an armed robber, if he refused to turn himself in, these people have family members. They didn't just fall out of the sky. They got mothers, they got fathers, they got brothers, they got sisters. They are criminals. But if you say you know them, you know who they are, find means for them to turn themselves in. You kill somebody, that person is not coming back. It's just a matter of time before people started taking this thing to a different level. Just a matter of time. So I'm saying why it is a good thing for the police inspector general to protect us, which we appreciate, but it must be done with fairness. Because if the police inspector general will come up and say the court is the problem, if you're saying the court is the problem, it's the same court that's supposed to give you arrest warrant, the same court that's supposed to give you rates, the same court that's supposed to direct you as an armed officer to carry out the policy of the judiciary system, the arresting arm of the judiciary system. The amount of power you got in your hand. You can kill somebody and it go in vain. Because you are giving that much power. That power must be utilized effectively, but with transparency. Human being must not be dead on the floor before you have a press conference. Get a press conference. There's other people that are still that are involved in this case, and they're still alive. Go to a press conference and tell the Liberian people what these people what they have done, and the law wants these people. Give yourself room. Err on the side of cautious. Liberia will come from war. You can't, even armed robber. If you kill 3, 4, 5 armed robbers within the next 2-3 months, you're going to have some serious issue on your hand. You can't do that. I don't believe. So to have these kinds of things, the police general, the police, these are people we look up to stabilize the society. I'm not here defending Anra, far from it. Far from it. These people give the police headache. They make Liberia unsafe. You can say, oh, but the investors don't even want to come in there because the place is unsafe. I agree. We just heard the young guy the other day killed this German man in Liberia. These are things that are not good for our image. I agree. But at the same time, let's show to the rest of the world that we too are civilized country. Even as bad as these people are, we're going to respect their rights and bring them to justice. And let the justice system be applied fairly. But if the Inspector General would tell us that the court is to be blamed, the court is the problem. That means he doesn't trust the court system. With respect to the armed robbery, he doesn't trust the court system. And if he doesn't trust the court system, does he now become the jury, the judge, and the executioner? These things don't sit well with some of us, especially people like me who consider myself a liberal progressive. These things don't sit well with me at all. But who am I? I have no power. But I will say it. And I'm not saying it in condemnation to the police or condemning them or whatever you want to call it. No. I'm saying it so that we all can watch and be careful. Is the police in Liberia, do they have some sort of overseer, somebody looking after them and look at their cases and say, okay, this one you applied the law wrongly, or this one you did right? Do we have that kind of system in Liberia? I don't know that. But to be paraded dead armed robber in less than a month, 2 armed robbers killed. We believe you. You said they engaged you, firefight, we believe that. But when you make these kinds of statements before you engage these people, then it becomes little bit discounted, little bit confusing. But it's Patrice Suru. Like I said, I've watched a young man over the years, so I believe him. I have no question to question his motives or whatever. I believe him. But I'm just saying the fact that I believe him does not mean that he needs to be very careful. It's people's lives. Armed robbery or not, it's a life. You take life. It's not your job to take life. If the life is to be taken by the state, let the state impose that will. Let the state come out, we say we have capital punishment, and the person will be hanged. And that's it. But because the judges that are supposed to be working with you, and you believe they're releasing armed robber in the community, therefore, I don't want to leap. So I think you guys don't understand this thing. Why are we bringing Nigeria into the thing? I'm not going to argue with anybody here today. I'm just stating my point. You have the right to your view, and we respect it as well. Okay, let me go on to the next subject matter, and this is the right launching point here for my next subject matter here, folks. Okay, so quite recently, there's been the issue with with Mo Ali. The police said they have invited Mo Ali. Mo Ali lawyers show up, according to the story, but now the police, according to the story, have put up arrest warrant for Mo Ali, Secretary General of Unity Party. This one, you've got to be careful once again. You've got to be careful. With all of the issues like you're facing, that Mo Ali threat is a major issue for CDC-led government. It ain't even it's not even passing a smell test. I don't care how you're trying to hide it. Mo Ali, he made a threat. You guys say he made a threat and he was invited. If your threat bound to crimes, charge him. Go through the court system, charge him. And with the charge, the court then will issue an arrest warrant. But no charges has been filed. But because he didn't show up, now he's going to be a wanted man. You guys, it's so, you know, sometimes Honorable Moses Carter, these are highly educated people. These are people who have experienced these kinds of situations in other countries. They know these things. But when it comes to Liberia, I'm not too sure whether they just don't want to apply these things. You're calling Mo Ali a wanted man right now. What if he walked down behind a house and some security person look at him and say, oh, that Mo Ali, boom, and shoot him because he's a wanted man? What will you say? What can we be careful when these things happen? Mo Ali is a political figure in Liberia. Mo Ali is a political figure in Liberia. And many of you know Mo Ali. So why will you put Mo Ali's life in danger like that? For what reason? If he make a threatening statement on Facebook, if that's the whole mark of bringing people in, the entire city of Monrovia, especially young people, will be called in by now. And there will be no room in the police station for them to stand. What's the point? What's the point? Why are we going after Mo Ali? For what? Because he made a statement on the Facebook, which is threatening according to you guys. If it is charging, go to the court. But here's the issue. The Inspector General told us already the court is the problem. So he doesn't trust the court. So folks, we got to be careful. Interesting thing is this. There are many young Liberians who have invested in Liberia and continue to invest in Liberia. We can't have people to start anything. Here's the funny thing here. As soon as a little thing happens, those who don't have will destroy what the other people have because they say, I don't have it anyway. It happened before. It happened before. During the war, people were going from village to village, taking people's zinc and taking it to their own villages. It happened before. Why would we put ourselves in these kinds of situations? What has Mo Ali stated complete really that's rocking the security apparatus in Monrovia, for which you're going to have to write a arrest warrant, a wanted man on Mo Ali, Secretary General of the Unity Party. Mo Ali is a well-recognized person in Liberia. If you want Mo Ali, and Mo Ali is not coming in, Unity Party has Joseph Boakai. You can't even go to Joseph Boakai and say, this is what your Secretary General doing. Why you just sit down in that place and you think 1 minute you want Liberia to be like on the war stage. Another minute you forget that Liberia will have culture. Respect go both ways. I keep telling you this thing. I keep saying these things. When you push somebody, they will push back. This democracy stuff, freedom of right, freedom of speech, all these things are bluffing things. One of these days, they will call your bluff. The Liberians did it before. They call the bluff of democracy. And what happened? We went to war. We can't just continue to operate like this. This is not helping us. These things are not helping. They are not conducive to the kinds of civilized country that we say we have or what we want. Mo Ali, you say Mo Ali committed crime. Whatever, if it's a crime, charge him. If not, you go to Unity Party headquarters or go to their standard bearer. You know who these people are. And then you said, look, folks, we're trying to do X, Y, and Z. Listen to what Mo Ali is saying. Is this thing something that you, Honorable Bouaka, if you're president, will you tolerate these kinds of stuff? We're trying to build peace in this country. Look what your Secretary General is saying. And let's see what CPP and the people are going to say. But guess what? Because, I told you guys before, these people, CDC, will always give us, they always giving me binary folder error. This is another unforced error. Why you got to want to squeeze more Ali? For what reason? Look what CP, what Unity Party is saying now. And these things are going on the international stage. This is Front Page Africa. Front Page Africa is well known all over the world. Investor to come in our country, they go and read these little articles. And then you're wondering why investor can't come in. Listen to this. Mo Ali arrest warrant is an intimidation to dissident voice in Liberia. Boom. That's it. Somebody who wants to invest, take their money to invest in Liberia. They're not giving, they're investing. They want to get something. If you invest, you expect something in return. So before they take their money, even if their money left over, before they take their money to invest, they go and read the paper. The first thing, the men are going to sit down and read the entire article. So, well, let me see the heading. Oh, Mo Ali arrest warrant is an intimidation to dissenting voice. Oh, my goodness. You see where I'm going with this? Unforced error. Something that could have been resolved very easily. Very easily. You know you're not going to throw Mo Ali in jail. You know, even if you're throwing in jail, you'll come out and then you become bigger. Why are you always doing that? I really don't understand. You arrest Mo Ali right now and throw him in jail. He's going to get lawyer. He's going to get bond. And he's going to get out. And the crowd are going to get Mo Ali out of the jail. You yourself will be surprised. Mo Ali will be more powerful and more bigger than what he is now. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. With all of the issues that are facing Liberia presently, economic issue, that Mo Ali the problem, my people, we continue to do these things. Fight your battle. Find a suitable battle to fight. I don't mind you guys doing that because you're giving me unforced error that I can put in my binder. So I don't care about that. Because I know you're not going to kill Mo Ali. Yeah, you might arrest him and throw him in South Beach. But how long you think Mo Ali going to stay in South Beach? You're going to find a lawyer and they will get him out. And they think about the crowd that will go meet Mo Ali from the jail. They want you to think you're doing that small thing. This is the issue that you're faced to realize. CDC and the CDC-led government, I really don't understand what are you people, the 12 years you were in opposition, mean opposition body in Liberia, with all of the talking, with all of the wrangling that you were going through, Bama Chima standing in front of the courthouse, people going to court on behalf of CDC, I don't know what, all those things. Were you guys not taking notes? Or you think that those are things that just happen and they will be out once you be in governing, you're no longer going to face this thing? No. The people are watching you, thing you were doing. Now you're in leadership. They're doing the same thing you're doing. Then you'll forget to take note what was happening to you at the time, some of the processes, how when one of you go to jail, you come out, you become more popular. You forget? How you think Jefferson Coaching then became more popular in the CDC business? But every little thing, they all throw a person in jail. That's okay. But the point here, once again, when will you guys realize that these things are dangerous for our country? There are many, many young Liberians who have invested so much in our country. People come in the country in the diaspora. They're working, going to school at the same time, family. But whatever little money they get, they run over and start building. Most of the time, they buy land over there. And then they have to go to court because somebody sold their land that belonged to somebody, that belonged to somebody, that belonged to somebody. Some of them are still in court. And those who have the land, they build it. You think to build, some people they go into their saving, into their 401k and get money from there to build in Liberia. For them to get nice building in Liberia. And all of these things people are not counting on. You're playing with security issues like this like it's nothing. This is why you have a brain drain right now. There are many Liberians outside of Liberia who could contribute immensely to the development of the country. But where is that kind of thing you want a young Liberian, intelligent, intellectual Liberian, smart Liberian? The way you're treating people like Mo Ali, then by the time you want them to come to Liberia in drove and help you out. People come from work. They want to sit and put their feet on the couch or put their feet on the table and flip the channel and watch the news. You think the people want to come to Liberia and work, come from work and listen to that kind of stuff? Treating people like this? And that's why, one of the reasons why you're going to have many, many young Liberians who are capable will stay away. They don't mind sending money back home for their family members. But these are people that could contribute heavily to the development of the country. Look how much the CDC Bank government, they've been running the government for almost more than 3 years now. 18, 19, 20, 21, going to almost 3 years. Okay? And decent role is still not there. You don't even have plans to lay out some of the area these young people are building. People building no egress. The person have a lot behind that. The laws say you have to provide egress. You have to provide place for the men to go to a property. We don't even have those guys. You don't have plan. You don't have no zoning law. You don't have no zoning law. You have no building codes. Anybody can build anything at any time. And many, many young Liberians are working for state, federal government, working for city, in any kinds of areas, zoning. They are knowledgeable. They are knowledgeable city planners. They are part of the planning group here in the United States, all over the world. They are planning city. Highly educated. You even get 15 dumping ground over there to dump your dirt, to dump your trash. Simple stuff. Landfill. That any little 4-year just getting out of college can design. You don't have it. And you want people to run over there. Look how you're treating Mo Ali. Look how you're treating Mo Ali. You're not going to do nothing to Mo Ali. You throw in jail, Mo Ali come out. You remember, what's his name? That young man from Benicala Park here? You're throwing in jail, he came from there, you almost became senator. When we're going to learn these things? When we're going to learn? And then people come out and say to the opposition, the cost of investment not coming to Liberia. Are you kidding me? These are kinds of stuff. I'm not too sure who is advising. By this time, I'm not going to ask that question anymore. I think I'm done with that kind of question. Whoever is advising the government listening, I mean, that's what they want. That's exactly what they want, and that's what they're going to get. For me, I will continue to pray that this government succeed. I will continue to pray that Liberia succeed. I'm not praying for the failure of this government, but you guys making it difficult for people to even talk something nice about the president from time to time. It's just you make it more difficult. Okay, tell me now. Besides, when I started my show and showing how the president was engaged culturally, what are some of the things that I can talk about here tonight? That you think I can talk about truly and say, this is what this government is doing, this is what the government is doing. Just, yeah, my people, we got problem. And I will do another show tomorrow. Just recently, I saw Honorable McGill shamelessly listing the amount of people from Lofa County that are working in the government of the Republic of Liberia. Lofa County, I don't say Lofa Control. I don't say Lofa Country. I don't say Lofa, I say Lofa County in Liberia. McGill naming the people from Lofa County that are working in the government of the Republic of Liberia. Let me say it again. Listen to me. McGill, Senator McGill, I mean not Senator, but Minister McGill, listing citizen of Liberia from Lofa County working in the government of the Republic of Liberia. He's there. The other one from Lofa County, he's working in the government. The other one from Lofa County, he's working in the government. The other one, myself from Lofa County, the other one from, where you think they're going to go? They're going to go work in Ghana government? What kinds of mental system we have in our country? So even if the opposition puts you in that level, must you stoop that low to list a citizen of the Republic of Liberia working in the Liberian government? What is this? Because we believe that CDC government belongs to a specific group. Therefore, if we give you something, we do you a favor. This is not two-way party. What part of it you don't understand? The days of two-way parties, finito, over. Or over. No, on a very serious note. On a very serious. When will we ever understand that we can't do these kinds of sectionists? If the president is qualified, give him the job. But the minister, highly respected person, minister in this government, naming people from Lofa County who are working as though people from Lofa County, they can't work in the government. Are you kidding me? So if you're working in the government, you're doing Lofa County a favor? No. In fact, minister, I hate to remind you, as healthy as you are, I will give that health the credit to Lofa County. Because if you were born in the 60s, which I believe you were, or even in the 70s, Lofa County gave you food. They were the bread basket of Liberia. So Lofa County owe you nothing. If anything, all of us, especially those of us that was in Monrovia struggling, owe Lofa County a lot. Why are you going to come here and can't name people from Lofa County as though they're part of it? They shouldn't work in this government? This is something that we ourselves need to be very careful how we do these things. Okay? Another thing. The chairman, but of course, I'm not too sure whether they're less busy a few days the chairman of CDC telling Minister of Transport that if Dallas Dillon brother, who was, I think he was promoted, that if they don't rescind that promotion or rescind his employment or something, that he himself will be take my goodness. So what is, yeah, it is CDC like government. You know, when CDC business started here, I was one of those that was on air here, and I used to say the same thing. I said, look, there are people who came for vote on behalf of CDC. They must be given preference. And that's just human nature. You run campaigns so that you will enjoy the sport of world. That's fine. But in the third year of CDC, and you still want sedition, in the third year of CDC-led government, and you still want sedition to dominate the government, that means you don't have qualified sedition. I'm just giving it to you as straight. If you have qualified sedition, they would have been in no places by now. However, I like to qualify that statement a little bit. Because I know some sedition here in the United States, highly qualified, highly educated, but you guys refuse to get them in. You guys refuse to get them on board. And so they're here making money, good money, better money they make here than they will make in Liberia. But guess what? Where's their contribution going? Towards this country of the United States of America. And this is where they get paid. Instead of them to come over there. You see, this is what y'all do. Until these young people are sucking the air out of them. They're getting paid handsomely. No question asked. Don't ask me. They're getting paid. Go to some of these people's houses. You won't believe. Nurse, accounting, married. When you see the house, when you see the car they're driving, when you see their bank account, you will not even believe it. So it's not like they're anxious to come to Liberia. But because you don't give them the opportunity to work over there, they contribute here. And America continue to enjoy. While you're sitting down there, when it rains, the whole entire Southeastern cut off. Because you all refuse to bring people on board. They must be member of CDC. Me, halaba, I'm not going to register myself as CDC. No way. I know CDC will say, we don't even want you. Yeah, I don't want you too. Yeah. So it go two ways. No, but I'm very serious though. The chairman of CDC is saying this, that sedition must be given preference. At this stage, when it rains, no role, and you want sedition to be given preference, at this stage, the economy in the country is going south on us, and you want sedition to be given preference. When you have the opportunity, what did you do? You were asking, and I was in Monrovia, this I can attest to. You were asking sedition to pay you so you can get a job from America. CDC, during the inaugural program, they have a special place where they have a diaspora inaugural ball. The president was supposed to go over there. That was a place that was supposed to have gotten contact with all the sedition coming from the diaspora. What did they do? He ain't do nothing. They all came back to their handsome paying job, and they're enjoying themselves. You think they're coming to come? Nobody, the sedition that are here in America, nobody's suffering, huh? I tell you, they're not suffering. They just wanted to contribute. That's all. But CDC chairman threatening the transport minister, if you don't pull my people out there, you yourself will be out of job. I'm waiting to see that one. So, folks, like I said, I'm sitting in tonight for the conservative Alfonso Zionso. This is a good one. A liberal progressive is sitting in for a conservative. I post saying in a conservative gallery tonight. They ain't got no space here. When I open my line, Anybody call yourself conservative, I will take you to the clinic. Because this is liberal tonight. And this Sunday afternoon, beside God, liberal. Look, think about it. Think about it. Liberal in control of the United States. Liberals, they're in control in Liberia. CDC, you got flock. I rest my case. No, but on a very serious note, folks. Tomorrow I'll be back on here. I'm most likely going to be repeating this show. But I thought on a very serious note, we cannot continue to work like this. It's not healthy for all of us. It's not healthy for all of us. And then people will complain since 1847. Well, because we ourselves, the opportunity have always been there. Think about it. Iron ore. The mine iron ore in Liberia. What to stop the leaders to say, look, we don't mind you doing the iron ore, but bring the equipment here and let's melt these iron ore and produce steel from here. They got steel production over there in Australia, in the middle of desert. Don't tell me they you know what they did? They transport the gas to heat the iron to fire. They transport the gas through the pipe to go to the desert. Why they can't do that same thing in Liberia if they wanted to? But every leaders in Liberia, my opinion, seeking the interests of themselves and not the people. And not the people. So when they bring Faria making machine, mechanized, Liberia is being mechanized. Faria making machine, then they say they're doing good. When they bring machine to make palm oil, oh my goodness. How many people in the world, you know what they think about palm oil? Palm oil, you can get a lot of stuff out of it, soap and all that kind of good stuff. But can it make you rich? Can it make a country rich? We got timber. Why must we transport the raw timber out of Liberia? Why can't we do trusses and transport the trusses? Why can't we do studs, houses, and transport? You know, see, when you drive on a highway, you can see some of the houses being transported half. They can split them in half because they build them and then they transport them. Then they assemble them on the land and they become a house. We got wood. Why can't we do these things? Then we say, okay, the rubber left over, we grind it. We can sell the mush for fuel. Good idea. Good idea. But you got many young Liberians. Hey, you know, one of the things sometimes, I just feel bad for us. Especially the Liberian diaspora. You come in this country young, full of energy. And I'm saying that again, many of you agree with me. There's nobody watching me right now that have gone to school. I don't care what discipline you're in. But every good thing from the time you started school up to the time you graduating or graduated, every little good thing that a teacher or something it comes your way, have to do with your class, you always say this thing can be applied to Liberia first on your mind. Wow, they think good. We can do it in Liberia too. Everything. So when you feel bad for us, because when you come in this country at a very young age, like some of us did, you come here, energy, full of energy. And then you start working. At the same time, you start going to the political gathering, exchanging ideas of what you think can happen. You're fresh from school, brand new from school, new idea. You go to the place, oh my God, yeah, this kind of stuff, we can do this, we can do this kind of stuff. Well, here's the spirit, the leadership of this organization, the ULAN places. The only thing they want is to use these organizations as a springboard. Once they get recognized in Liberia and get job, they're done with ULA business. They're not going to go to Liberia, work in the Liberian government, promote ULA activities, and promote the young people that the president or the ULA leadership is leaving behind. They're not going to promote it. They promote themselves. And y'all think we're going to move forward? We ain't going nowhere. Let me open my line, big people. Samson to Liberian Public. We're sitting in tonight for Mr. So, who is undercover. And let's go ahead. You know, sometimes when you do these shows, sometimes you tend to be too much involved, and then you becomes a little bit not angry, but whatever. So let's put my number up there. This is just a show. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Give me a call. And let me see what you think. What do you think? Give me a call. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Okay, here's my number, folks. Give me a call. In the meantime, let me read some of these statements here. I'm not going to read them out loud, of course. I like this. Esther Howard, your one vote can break the tie. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Mr. Samson Cole. This is Nankamu from Houston, Texas. How you doing?
Hey, come on, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm okay. I'm doing fine, thank God for everything. Just to give you a little story about what happened to me last week. A friend of mine got shot here. And she was killed.
Who?
You know. I said a friend of mine got shot here.
Wow.
Yeah, family dispute, and one of the family members shot her, and she got killed in the process.
Liberian?
You know, so no, not Liberian, American.
Because Liberian to come to America and shoot somebody, it's very difficult.
Yeah,
wow.
that's the difference between where we're coming from. You know, we can get mad, but we can't think about other things.
No, I'm sorry to hear it, man. I'm sorry to hear it. I hope your spirit will be fine. I'm sorry to hear it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Even though I didn't start the program from the beginning, but I would like to pick up on the last thing you're talking about, especially when it comes to extracting minerals from our country, and we can't see the dividend in terms of adding value to it. It goes back to with the company called Firestone. They both have the rubber. We don't even have a factory where they can manufacture tires or even rubber bands. And our leaders come to power, they don't push, the kind of agenda. Like, why you guys are taking the rubber from here? At least just try to open a factory here. They don't push that. I don't know why. Come to the iron ore. They don't do. They're taking timber from the country. They don't do. So I just conclude that they have the kind of partition, mentality. Like almost like somebody who got a house. You get bring rental in, you get taking rent. You don't care how, whatever they're doing there, all you gotta collect the rent. That's what happened in the country there. And when it comes to the security issue, there have been a lot of people who have issued threats according to them that are going against the peace in the country. But some of the people, they don't bring them to have investigators. One fine example is the former article, the president TV chairman. When you tell the president for that money, nobody going in to ask him why he's saying that, because he's somebody who is very high up in the government. Nobody calling for that. When Jefferson Koji said they will use the blood and soul in the whenever people protest, nobody calling for that. Or when it came out at the time where they had the protest in district number 13 and 15, where we saw people machete Up to now, we didn't know how far the police are going with our kids. Everything just like that. You can't understand nothing going on. And then lastly, you were speaking of the people in the diaspora. Most of the people in government today, somebody have lived in the diaspora. They have come here to see how society works. But they go by like bro, when they get in government, they change. You don't know why. And we continue to ask ourselves the question, what's going on? So it's just a complicated situation, and I don't know how it's going to be resolved. Mr. So every time I come on your platform, I listen to you, and I just listen and say, anyway, he's just one of those people that continue to talk. Who listening? We don't know. Because if people are listening, by this time they have changed the direction. But it seems to be like nobody listening.
That's okay.
But like a friend of mine said, we can get tired. And then when you talk again on the various social media platforms, people insulting. Nowadays in the Liberian community, when you go discuss, nobody will disagree, but we start insulting. In fact, those are in Liberia will start threatening you. They're coming like bro, you see. Coming like bro, you see. You not even come here. All this thing, and who's doing it? Liberia doing it to their own Liberians. And another thing again, I was there, but they come on native. I thought we are past that level. But people in the CDC government, all the followers, all supporters will all be talking about our native. They come up with children and they didn't get no rent. I won't be that angry. But you checking the government, we got more native children in the government. So what they're doing for their own people? In fact, when the native party law that they should have extra links. The country don't even have 4 links or 6 links, but they say they should have extra links and a native children. So the problem is compounded. And I don't know whether they're listening. Or probably they just see we on the side, we continue to speak and speak because we have the airtime. So I let me tell you, thank you. I follow you. And I hope if they got conscience, they can take their time to change the direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, folks, Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. I'm getting ready to. But no, on a very serious note, folks, we're not going to get tired. I remember years back, we went to another ULA program over there in Chicago. And I asked a question, when we go to the program, usually you go, and not everyone will rent a car, even if you're going to rent a car. Those days, you don't do rent a car. The person who lives there will pick you up, take you to the hotel and stuff like that. So we were about, I think, 5 or 6 of us in the car. And I asked the question, why do we always do this? And then a good gentleman answered, he said, Samson, this is what keeps us alive. So we're not going to get tired. But the sad thing is, years and years ago, those who were in the vanguard of ULA, ULA must do this, ULA must do that, and fighting here and there. Liberia, if Liberia government were to listen to some of us here in ULA, some of the people went home. Their leadership went home to work for the government, and nothing. In fact, they were worse than some of the people that were back home. And it's a stain on many of us here in the diaspora, because our brothers and sisters back home believe that when we leave from here, we go and get jobs. We're only there for corrupt behavior and steal. And then we'll come back here and buy houses and things. And they see the example. Why would you not believe what they're thinking is correct? You got Liberians that go over there, work, make $15,000 a month for 4 or 5 years or so, and come back here and buy houses. I know many of them, I don't want to call names right now. They come over here and buy houses and stay, and they're not going back home. They have people calling themselves founding a think tank. Think tank, my phone. You want found think tank? Go back in Liberia. You were there making $15,000 a month. You stay in Liberia, and let the people know that you're there with them. You can't running back here now. You want to tell me. And then a few years from now, and they will take that same money that they stole from Liberia. My opinion, they stole from Liberia. I have no proof that is, but they stole from Liberia. They come over here, buy the houses and things like that. They will use that same money, go back and start giving people palm oil and bag of rice because they want to be senators, so they will take more money. And the thing just go, it continue, the circle continue. Think about it, even me. And as much as I'm talking right now, who said that if I go to Liberia, I'm not going to repeat these things? This is just ridiculous. I don't know what happened to us as Liberians. Why do we do these things to each other? I sit here on this platform every night, running my mouth. And then when I get to Liberia, and people give me a job, or I'm working, then I start misbehaving, taking something that is not mine. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. Give me a call. Samson told Labron Paparito. We're on here, and now some bringing Pat George to close the show for me tonight. So, give me a call. Samson told Labron Paparito, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind?
My name is Benjamin Mason from Dallas. So I'm calling from Fort Worth, Texas.
Thank you for calling. What's on your
Yeah,
mind, sir?
when you say what's on my mind right now is the condition that you just described about us Liberians and our country. And people sit and say, where would this country go? And it's kind of a crazy thing, but it is a very unique situation when we look at us as Liberians and how we perceive Liberia. People say, and we always say it depends on Liberians to change Liberia. But the question is, which kind of Liberians? In all of your communications and all of the time you talk, you go back in history, you try to bring us to the point where we can realize that we must demand change from our leader. But again, if the leader is somebody that we fancy, is someone that we glorified, we stop seeing their faults. And that is the problem with Liberia. We'll only change Liberia when we, especially those in the diaspora, who claim to have lived and enjoyed the best of the people's country, go back to Liberia with the mindset of wanting to implement those things for Liberia, for Liberians to enjoy back home. It's kind of crazy, like I always say to people, when I see people get on social media and applaud, and often you will have that group that applaud the wrong because they favor the power that be. And if you favor the power that be, you are not favoring the country if what the power that be does is wrong. So to come about and see all of the mishappenings going on in our country and to see people standing up and defending the ills, I will give the government the laurels and praises when they do the right. I will give the government the praises and the laurels when they do the appropriate action with our taxpayer money or with our resources money. I will applaud them for doing the right thing, but I will not applaud them for doing the wrong thing. I will not defend them for doing the wrong thing. And I will state it when they do wrong, and I will state it when they do the best, or when they do what is appropriately right. I say all these things to say that Liberia is in a vicious cycle. Everybody see Liberia as a vacation site. So they go to Liberia to make the money and live luxurious life at the expense of the people. But again, who do we hold? The people. And why do I say we hold the people? Because the people are the same one who are applauding these people, who are exploiting them, and thinking that because the man took $1 million and gave me $1, that means the man is good. That means the man is better. That means the man is best. I hate the line of the country Congo because for me, I've come to the view to realize that the country Congo mentality is only meant to suppress the indigenous. It's never meant to promote the indigenous. It's always meant to to suppress the indigenous at the expense of on the back of the Congo. Oh, the Congo people did this, the Congo people want this, so we are going to use it against them. We have passed that place. And in my mind, as a whole world to think, and I always tell people to prove me wrong. In my mind, for the past 40 years, it has been all indigenous. What have we done to our indigenous brothers to elevate their lives? What have we done? How many hospitals have we built in the interior? How many schools have we built in the interior? How many banks? How many concession areas have we placed in the interior to uplift the life of the people in the interior? We have done nothing.
But let me ask you that you seem to be someone who is very patient, because you're choosing. It seems to me that you're choosing your words very carefully here, and so I will assume that you're very patient. Let me ask you that: why, if governing system itself is difficult, that it becomes difficult for Liberians to understand? Is there something we can, how can we change that? If our leaders, those opposition, say they're going to do X, Y, and Z and incite Liberia, not in a negative faction, but incite Liberia in believing that they can deliver, and then when they get to the position, they find that things are not the way they think they will be. Things are much more difficult to move for NATO than what they anticipated. How do you expect to resolve that?
Well, the thing about it is, to resolve that means you have to get the people involved in the government problem. The thing is that we tell people what we will do in anticipation of what we don't know. And when we get in position, we encounter what we don't know because we were not close to the authority to know everything. But when the people are involved in governance, when the people are aware of what to expect from governance, when the people are aware of the responsibility to government, they get to understand that there are things that will come through and will come through patiently. You see, the problem in the world today...
I don't mean to interrupt. So are you suggesting that those who are in government, having recognized that they are so shortcoming, they now realize that they can't deliver on things they promise? Are you suggesting that they should go back to the electorates and tell them the truth?
Yes, that one phase of it. But I'm also implying that look at the opposition today. The opposition do not know all of the details of the government, all of the intricacies that the government is going through. But the opposition is not educating the masses to know all of the technical details that can hold the government back from producing what the person wants to produce.
But wait a minute. I think if I may say, it seems to me that you're putting the horse before the cart. The cart before the horse. Let's put it up. If the people that are let me finish. If the people that are in position, that are running the government, that have a clear insight of the difficulties of running the government, if they are not coming back to the people to say this is what things are and this is what we can deliver and these are things that we cannot deliver and it will take time, if they're not doing it, why will you expect the opposition that are still in opposition, that have no clear insight of the operational faction of the government? How do you expect the operation to come and the opposition to come and tell these people, to educate the people? How are they going to educate them?
Now, you see, this is what I'm saying. And I agree with your question is rightly placed. Because the government is not coming back to tell the people about the intricacy and the difficulty that they are facing, which is their responsibility. The opposition is only educating the people to know what to expect from the government. These are the things you must expect from the government. These are the government responsibilities. That is what the opposition needs to be teaching the people.
So then, folks, hold on 1 minute. Folks, if you listen to this exchange, this, my opinion, I think this exchange with a gentleman and myself, I think this is the shortcoming of the government that is causing problem. Because what you're suggesting, sir, is the opposition, if they choose to, they can wreak havoc for the government. They can make things much, much more difficult for the government. Because if the people are listening to them, they can tell them, you're suggesting, they can tell the people what to expect from the government. Whereas they have no good knowledge of what exactly the government can deliver and how and when. However, the opposition, the fact that the government is not explaining, they're now going to improvise by saying what they expect, speculating. Is that what you're saying, sir?
That's exactly the point. You see, this is where the opposition will have to score more points. Because if you teach me what I am to expect and what the government is supposed to do for me, you are teaching me so that when you get there, I can hold you responsible. But then when I decide to hold you responsible when you get there, and you find out the intricacy and the difficulty, then you will come back to me and explain, listen, I told you these things are expected, but this, and that's where this government is failing. That's where all government in the past has failed. They failed to come back and tell the people, listen, I promise you I was going to get light. I promise you I'm going to get light in 6 months. But my brother, there's a lot of things that are holding this thing. A hinge on this, a hinge on this, a hinge on this. These are the things that are holding me up. I can't do this because of this.
Then let me push you a little bit. Let me push you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Knowing and I will expect and perhaps I'm wrong, but knowing, I hope that you know the Liberian culture. We are not people who will admit our fault very easily. We are not people who will come back and be like someone who is caving in. We're people who tend to pretend that nothing hurt us. We throw off the face, a brave face, knowing fully well that there's a lot of pain within us. That's who we are. You're saying that particular type of culture is the downfall of our government? Is that what you're suggesting?
Exactly. Our government is trying to brave the storm and feed you all that. Look, we got to keep a brave face. It's not a matter of keeping a face. It's not a matter of keeping up a morale. It's a matter of letting the people know. When people know, when people are educated to know that, listen, there is always a hitch. The hitch on this is hanging on this. Then the people get to understanding that, okay. But listen, there's also a caveat to this. If people continue to think that you are making the fact as an excuse, then it does, people will not buy into your reason, because you are making it, when people buy into the fact that, well, this guy is always making an excuse, and he's not making an effort. So people got to see the genuine nature of you exposing yourself, opening yourself up to them, so that they can say, okay, the leadership is telling us the vivid fact. I should have gotten light. This contract came in. These people gave me this amount of money for light. And every money that you come into your country is better that you let your people know, so they can know what that money is for and how it is being used. But if you are not doing that, and people find out that, oh, that's an excuse, money came the other time, oh, that's an excuse, money, then it becomes a difficult thing for people to believe you, which believing is more important. It's more important for the people to believe you than for you to have a faith. And that is where we are. That is where we are hanging right now. Right now, our country is in a position where we are not educating our people to know what we as a government need to do for them. We are not educating the people so that they can be able to understand what we are going through. So the leadership is failing, and then the opposition are not capitalizing on that. So, like, for example, let me make this simple example. The government will provide light. It is important for the people the opposition tell people, say, look, this is a responsibility of the government to provide this as an incentive, not as an incentive, but as a necessity for the people to have current, 24-hour current, so that they can be able to do other investment in progress. That's the point I'm coming from. The government is not explaining to the people, and the oppositions are not capitalizing on the explanation to educate the people of the expectation from government. So for this reason, we are roving around in a cycle. Thank you for your conversation. We have another day, and another day again, we will meet and we'll talk. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Folks, I think of all of my blabber-marving here and there, I think this gentleman really gave me some insight, make me to believe some of the things that I've been saying for a very long time, that the explanation is better than fact and fiction. If the government can come back to the people and tell them what is happening, trust in this type of situation will help you. But our culture does not permit that. Our culture do not allow you to say, I'm sorry. There are many Liberians, especially the older folks, they don't tell people sorry. In fact, many Liberians don't tell their spouses and things sorry. If they do wrong, they go and buy chain and say, yeah. They don't even explain why they're giving the chain. To say, oh, honey, I'm sorry, take this. They don't do that. They go, yeah. And I said sorry a long time ago. What you want again? You want mansion? You papi, okay, you want me to take my sorry back? That's who we are. That's what we do. Instead of saying to say sorry, you go, okay. Oh, now why you say, okay, sorry. But what you want me to say again? I say sorry. I mean, I will say one sorry now. Okay, sorry. You see where I'm going with this? This is our culture. It's not just the young people or the old folks. This is Liberia. So with that kind of mentality, how do you come back, especially in a political setting? How do you come back and make yourself vulnerable where you know very well that the opposition will use the opposition to try to degrade you? Samson to LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Good evening, Mr. Todd. This is Sam Jackson. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much, Jackson. Thank you for calling us. What's on your mind, sir?
I want to visit you, and I was at Sacramento Airport trying to call you. I couldn't get you, so you had to pay a fine.
Oh my goodness! Sorry about that.
Okay, but you touched on something that I have an experience. While I was there, I visited a friend who.
Where in Sacramento area?
No, in Loda.
Oh, you went to Loda?
Yeah, I know my family. The Jackson family. I think you know them. They live in Stockton. Yes. Yeah. And so I want to visit them, and then I have a friend of mine, who went to Liberia. He invited me. He graduated from University of Massachusetts. He's an agricultural. He have a PhD. He wanted me to visit him. For all the just talk about Liberia. Something like that. So I went there to him. And then he told me, he said, look, Sam, there are a lot of problems in Liberia. He said, I wanted to carry my expertise, to see how best I could help. He have a farm in Loda. He have a great farm in Loda. So we walk into the farm. He said, he wanted to see how best he could help. During when Ellen was there, he said he went, but Ellen said that she was about to leave, I think, 2017. Ellen also, if you have any idea that you want to help with agriculture, you should come by and contact the judge. We are government. So he said he went back some part of, last year. He said, but then when he met with the official, he said then there was a problem. He said, Sam, the first thing in Liberia is for you to for any investment to come, there must be some incentive that they must put in there. Right now, he said there's nothing that they can put in. He said, well, number one is security. He said security is lacking. He said then the full factor of production, which he feel that should aid the government, to encourage investors, to come into the country, they are lacking. He said number one is no electricity. He said that makes security to be very, very hard. He said while he was there, he came across his friend. He got transferred some money. Only to tell every time he go to the bank, he couldn't get his money. No redress as to where he can go, to say, look, I've transferred some money, I can't get it. Everywhere he went at that time, he would tell the young man, say, look, the man will give them something. I understand. So he just said, look, I don't think the country now is prepared yet, to do any investment, because the first thing is while he was there was, time, that people were demonstrating. There was time, that there was money shortage at that time. Their own Liberian dollar, he said, he couldn't find on the market. He said that discouraged him from investing. Then you go back to the question where somebody was talking about Firestone not doing this or not doing that. Now, if you want to invest and there is no way that you can get electricity power, if you want to use generator, it will cost you a lot of money. You understand? If you look, the few times, you and myself, when you were in Sacramento, if when the airport started, now that airport is growing. I was surprised when I went. There must be something that will attract people to come invest into the country. And right now, I don't think Liberia have those factors of production that will encourage people. The first thing is money. Security is lacking. So I just wanted to add up to some of the things that you were talking about that causes some of the things, why people don't want to invest into the country. Whosoever you went to, they want for you to deposit money into the account, as you were telling me. So people think that they don't want to invest, but people want to invest. But there are a lot of things that are, preventing people, from taking a huge money out there when they know that there will be no redress in case anything happens. So I rest my case and listen to other people, if they have an input.
Thank you, Jackson. Yeah. Could you please send me this individual number? I just text it to me. The number you're calling me on now, that's my cell phone anyway. So just text me his number and his name. So I want to get in touch with him so that he and I can start a conversation. Hopefully we can get him out here in the studio and be our guest, or even have him to talk to us from his living quarter anyway. So please, if you don't mind, we'll appreciate it.
Yeah, I would, they might know you, something like that, because I talked about you, something like that. So I will do that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Jack.
All right.
Again, folks, Samson Toll, LeBron Public Radio. Samson Toll, LeBron Public Radio, sitting in tonight for Mr. Soul. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Mr. Soul, this is Nakimu again. I'm calling because I have something like agreement, with the previous caller, not the caller I just left it now. He was speaking about the opposition now, educating the people, or the government having some problem with information. But I will go to the opposition side. When CDC was in the opposition, they educated the people. Number one education to give the people was that we need a war crime code. We need a war crime code so that we can set a deterrent, so that people who come here and launch war or rebellion on the society and war scot-free, the people buy into that education. They voted into power. And what is the outcome today? Nothing. The senior opposition today are speaking on the issue of corruption, insecurity.
No, but let me hold you there right there. And that's exactly the gentleman's point was. CDC, when they were in opposition, they were preaching war crime court. That when they get into governing, they will do what they can to bring in war crime court for Liberia. When they got there, according to what this guy was saying, is that when they got there, having realized that this is not as simple as they thought, is for them to come back to the Liberian people and lay out the entire process. Why is it's going to be difficult to bring war crime court in Liberia? How difficult it's going to be? And what are some of the processes involved? He said this is what the government is not doing. And in the meantime, he's saying the opposition is not taking advantage of that by bringing these things up. So I think I just want to make that clear. But go ahead, make your point.
Yes, the clarity is clear. But I also have another issue with that clarity. Because when President Weah left on the United Nations, his first address, he mentioned the World Crime Court. He said the Liberian people will decide that if they want World Crime Court. That was his statement when he had a press conference. When the journalist interviewed at the airport, he made that clear. And there are groups in Liberia and outside Liberia that are calling for World Crime Court. Are they not Liberian? Let's say, for example, Luja, Mr. Emmanuel Savi, he left when he staged a demonstration or protest in Monrovia there, calling for World Crime Court. Are they not Liberian? He petitioned the Liberian government. Are they not Liberian? You know, the people petition the government say they want World Crime Court. And up to now, they are not listening to that. So people are educating the people about what they want. But the government is not listening. The government is not listening. So when it comes to the issue of the people not being educated, opposition people are crying for that. Even other people who are not opposition, who are all part of the advocacy group, they are calling for that. But the government is not listening. They are not, because they have an agenda. That's it. So on the issue of education, you on the platform, you're educating Liberian people. Your video is worldwide on YouTube, on the platform. People in Monrovia listen to you. In your hometown, people that listen to you. Some of the people are in the interest of whatever that are affected them that you bring out. And they got a representative. They are doing it. Let's say for injustice or people working in government who are not getting paid. Let's look at the other guy who put himself on fire, or the people who put themselves on a car tire, or the protest, all that stuff. People are crying for this thing in the society. Opposition are taking advantage of it, but the people are not listening. Another example I will give you. The government called for economic dialogue. They invited opposition people. People went inside there. They gave their input. What beginning of it? People are giving a suggestion on a daily basis on different platforms in national dialogue. What happened to the June 7 protest? The Liberian protest petitioned the government on what they should do. But the people are not listening. So the opposition are educating the poor. I got a different view on that. The Liberian people are being educated on a daily basis about what the government should do for them. But the government power is not listening because they got their own agenda.
Okay.
You can't tell me all the time you've been on the platform, the education is giving, like the other time you raise us, telling you to be so rest in peace on the former public work minister. The lady role, the president had a concept of what happened to the other people. What happened is he had different information to give the president. You flag that particular issue up. You're talking about lady role there's no they had to go to the pedestrian wall. It's not even up to stand up. When the release doesn't come, when the water seeps through the hole, it will damage the road. You want to tell me all the information, they're not listening to it? People are being educated on it on a daily basis. When the government and the county power together, who has done that?
Okay.
So I got disagreement on that point. Okay. That's why I call back for. People are being educated on a daily basis. Every day we're doing it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, folks, when you call and I'm not picking up, that means someone else is on there. Samson to Liberian Public, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, my name is Mark. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Welcome, Mark. Go ahead.
Just to make clarity with the guy who just spoke, when he not end what the president said, when the president came from the UN Relation Convention, when he got to the airport, he said Liberian people will decide. And when he got back in office, the first thing he did was I think he wrote a letter to the legislature so they can advise him on the World Crime Court. He even suggested if they can put that on the ballot for the referendum, this election. for us to understand the legislature have not come up with a decision. And my point was, if the president already sent to the legislature, the point how the 11 point that Mr. Two is that instead of going to the people who can make the law, who can change things, they go to the president to make decisions. Because they when it comes to World Concord, the president, the legislature then have the TRC report. The TRC has not been implemented. They had to, and when they went to the peace accord, they agree on TRC. So the only who can come to World Concord is to go back to change the TRC report and go back to the drawing board, and they can put that in the restitution, and the legislature can come up with that plan. But everybody in that plan, even if put in the house there, more than them, they are more than the ruling party. But like they play into politics because CDC said they won't World Concord, but the legislature has the power to bring the World Concord to the table. Even the going election, because they say like this, let's put on the ballot. If the people won't World Concord, let's vote for it. Of the standard, you're not happy. So that there's too much blame game in government. Blame game. It's not about government, but everybody they're blame game. And those that will make the law and pass in real constitution, they're not doing it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, folks, I'll take 2 more calls, and I'll ask Pastor Joshua, give me a call. So give me a call, Samson to LeBron Public Radio. And if you call and I'm not able to answer your call because someone else is on the line, that's why. Okay, give me a call here, Samson To, and let's have some discussion. Okay, if not, I will just go ahead and ask by Josh to call and close this stuff for us. Wow, I'm doing some serious drawing here tonight. Yeah? Samson To, LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? What's on your mind? Where you're calling from?
My name is Charles Kingsley, calling from Minnesota.
Okay, welcome, Charles. What's on your mind? Make it brief for us. But you have to try to lower your monitor.
Okay. I got a lot of things on mind right now.
Okay. Just make it brief for us. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, a few things to talk about in Liberia, and seeing the progress of our country. Recently I had a friend that I talked to, went to Liberia, and we're talking, as the people tell everything that the country is getting better, we got good electricity, and the guy was telling me that the people still suffering in the country. I mean, I feel really bad about that.
He said the people are still suffering?
Yes, the minute the people still suffering in the country, when you give somebody $5 US, the person want to tell you thank you all day. I say they had never seen such money before. And when he said that, what really came to my mind was, the issue about the food in the country. Maybe the commodity on the market is not, not readily available to the people in terms of it's not affordable for the poor people. And the thing that is, as the other people are saying, if someone gets elected, if they go into power and then realize that they are not going to deliver to 11 people, probably they should come back and be honest to 11 people. That is going to be very hard. And one of the things I observe in Liberia is that most of our people, or at least maybe some of them that are elected in office, those are not people that were preparing themselves to be leaders in government. They were people that, because they were in a community and they were doing something, maybe people were paying suit to them, or they were doing something that a lot of people know them, whether they were educated or not. The people just voted for them, they went there. So when such a man gets power, he wants to settle down first. He wants to focus on himself. So the idea of he coming by and telling the people that, what I went for, what I was expecting the people to is not there, it's not going to work. Because first of all, he didn't even know what you were going for. All you were going for was to get money, get the money that you're sitting down. So I think the Liberia people should begin to, have things and realize something. But you realize that those people that will be elected into office, there should be people that are determined. Not somebody who, look up, for example, now, see Honorable Yeke Koluwa every day he listens to that man on the radio. Was such a man prepared for that position that he went to? They got there and began to learn as they learn gradually, they want to force their way through. A lot of people over there, they are not maybe a lot of them are not educated on government issues. Some of them just got elected from the community where a lot of people know them, like Sir Joseph, not Sir Joseph, but the guy that were competed with DeLeon in the senatorial election. As I heard, as I was told, the man was just in the community, his parent was popular, and then he just ran and became somebody else, and the man is joined. So the enormous challenges in the country is a result of the ignorance of our own people. Somebody was saying that most of the people that come to America, our government officials, someone that comes to America, they see the development. I am so surprised. Even our president that been in this country in the Western world, America to be specific, they have seen beautiful development. They have seen streets. You see one street in this country, you see it's like the main road in Liberia. Let's say it would be the Somalia Drive, the UN Drive, a community road in this country. So why is it that when the government build road in Liberia, they can make it up to the standard of what we see in Liberia, in America here today? Why is it they don't have the eyes to see? Or they don't have that mindset? So I tell you that corruption is just part of the people. It's just part of the people. So it's a fight that Labrimba will have to fight every day until, I think God will come and deliver us for that kind of situation. Because, as long as they continue like that, we just need to pray to God to give us the right man. For me, my greater concern in Liberia is development is going on, but it's not up to standard. I can see on the road, even where I used to live in my community, Johnsonville, I was watching on YouTube last night. I saw the president right to my house, where I'm building my house at the junction. The mayor passing a street or quota there. That was very good. I was happy. But after the quota finished, the following time I went to Washington TV, it was not, if I have to say quota, the dusty will not cover the whole thing. You even know that quota, no, everything just work, but the work is not up to standard as we want to see it. So I congratulate the president. The president is doing well, but let the president do it up to the standard of what we see here. That's what development is all about.
Okay. Thank you, my brother. Okay, we'll take one more call, and then we'll call Pa Josh. Okay, this person. Samson told LeBron Pablo, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind?
Hey, Sasito. This is Man Soma, and I call from Virginia this evening. How you doing today?
Oh, fine. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Toe, we have a big problem in this country, man. The problem in Liberia is not with the leaders. The problem in Liberia is with ourselves, the common people. Because, Mr. Toe, I've never seen any group of people on this earth that don't have second thought as compared to Liberians. I've never seen any group of people from any country on this planet that cannot read between the lines as compared to Liberia. We are just completely blind-minded. Let me just bring you up what I'm trying to say. There's a process in Liberia to leave that country nowhere. Yesterday, someone like Belong said that Mr. Bokar was so corrupt to the extent they will have to fire him for corruption.
Who said? Dylan said that?
Dylan, yeah. I get a post and everything. How corrupt Mr. Bokar is, how he's a corrupt empire. That they made to fire him.
Dylan said that.
On his personal post. I have to post and everything. You understand? But today, it's the same Dylan that going to sit on the throne at Joseph Boakai house. The same Joseph Boakai that presided over 54 concession agreement for 12 years, Bucos agreement, that created no job, that created hardship. Even Joseph Boakai came and said he squandered with a big opportunity for 12 years. Today, it's a same Joseph Boakai that they're not going to the house to sit on the throne. Where is this country going? How do we, as a Latino, how do we think? How do we think? Sometimes I get scared, especially when I see Liberians hearing the Koruba going live on television, publicly abusing Willie in his own mother. And Liberians in America say, yeah, they're speaking for the people. Someone get on Facebook Live and say, if I do it, let me ask my own man, a lawmaker, and you say they're speaking for the people? I can't understand us, man. I know, like, people say we want work on code. Fine. It's true, we want work on code. But the people who say we should establish a work on code are the same people who are behind the high the warlords to join the party. You say the CDC committee don't want to establish a work on code. But we are saying, okay, I only wrote the hump. Because they have to establish a work on code, it's not going to be a executive branch. It will be the national legislature. They will make the decision and the House will approve it. The message saying you want to establish a work on code, I always send the communication to the House. Let your people who you elected prepare for you. Let have a discussion in the community. The person who may not establish a work on code. All right, you want to establish a work on code, but you have to join your party.
Okay.
You want to establish a work on code? The Supreme Court only found one person guilty of corruption, Browning Chemical. You say you tear the whole country apart. If Browning Chemical does not take a seat. How can a party that's fighting for justice defend a criminal? And the law says that when a person is found guilty of any crime, they should not hold public office until they serve their punishment. But you say if the man does not take a seat, you will make the president, the vice president, or let you go to a vacant. So I mean, sometimes I tell people, I say, look, the war will soon come to an end. Like, don't move nowhere. That country will just be like that for generation after generation. The country has no foundation. So let me tell you something, Mr. Sampson. In this country, I have been with a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Ghanaians. Mr. Pro, every Nigerian and Ghanaian that I come across, a person has to certificate, they have a career. Someone are masons, someone are carpenter, someone are electrician. Liberia is no foundation. When we come from Liberia, we only have to certificate of BSc in accounting or public administration. That's it. And that's the only thing we want to work in. So the issue is, Liberia is going to just not be that. After person, we are 12 years, it will just be that. We just can't cause laws. Liberia is the only country that semi-educated people make decisions for the nation. And we are the only people on earth that saying that a country can be built by semi-educated people. No nation has ever been designed by any group of semi-educated people. What has Liberia benefited from the get in the legislature? Public abuse, verbal abuse of women. That's the only thing the guy is doing publicly. And people are hearing them and they're talking people who live in America, in Europe, in the Bible nation are the people that hate this guy for publicly abusing women, including his own mother.
All right.
So that's where we are. Yeah, that's where we are, man. For me,
okay. Thank you.
I just pray, man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Okay, Pa Josh, if you can hear me, please call and close this thing in 5 minutes, please, so we get out of here. If not, then we're gonna go. Folks, we open a line, and you're allowed to speak your mind and speak exactly what is on your mind, and we appreciate it. Pa Josh, if you're still around, give me a call. I know it's kind of late on our side now. So, in fact, I think we'll just leave it there. Okay, folks. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Okay, he's still up. Good evening, Mr. Josh. Good evening.
Yes. How you doing? So,
yeah,
Mr. Liver. you had a fire attack today. Talk about you are in the consecutive seat.
Yeah.
Yes. John said nothing lasts forever. I think it's on my phone. I said nothing lasts forever.
That's right.
But here's the thing, even if it's true, it's pathetic You see someone who is level-headed and come to make a point. But the same thing he accusing the other side of, and he's doing the identical thing. He said Nigerians are not honest. They are not, the senior educated people cannot run a country. But what the person we are here? President we are here where there is no competent, the incompetent rules. Did he ever saw that poster for President? I'm statement on YouTube. Let me go and read it. Where President we are said that where there's no competent, the incompetent rule. What the person we are mean by that? If you want to mention about educated people and semi-educated people, and that phrase, what he meant by that? It means that people who are semi-educated people will rule. The competent people are the highly educated people will not. Since they are not there, then the semi-educated people will take over. That's the interpretation of it. Now, so you go, the people come and make all these statements. If we say we want to be real, some of us, we don't leave anything on the table. We go for opposition, we go for government. Because if you want to balance the story, you got to do it like that. Here's the thing here. Let me go back to this security issue. It's sad. I witnessed the security board or the security officer burial. But as I was saying again, he's a number. That's the end of that case. That's the end of it. And these things make investors afraid. It's not that we that outside go after the government. We doesn't make the government make the investors afraid. It's the government that creating this problem for themselves. A young man was on the security duty on guard, got killed. Today, you can't get any statement to ascertain the death of that fellow to bring closer to the former. You can't get it. And people say it's the opposition. No, it's the government. Police director at the court. Come on, Mr. Director, you know the law. If you charge somebody and send in the court, you have to follow that person to prosecute him to the letter. The court cannot hold that person in jail forever. No. It is a duty. If the government says that person is an armed robber, they charge and send to court. The justice ministry is supposed to make sure that case is carried out to the end. They cannot keep the man in jail for that indefinitely. No. These are the issues that you want to blame the court for that. You can't blame the court for that. That's why I said the criminal justice system, the due process of law, everybody must have a day in court. So if you charge somebody send to the court and the district attorney, the solicitor general, they didn't do the work, you want the court to continue to hold the person in jail, it's violation of that person's fundamental rights. So that is not an excuse to say this is why you see criminal roaming the street of Monrovia. No, because you are failed to perform your duty. So don't blame the court for it. Do your part. Allow see whether the court will just go and set both free. Then we can go after the court. So don't say he made that statement. I was just laughing. And here is the thing. People in Liberia continue to do all the same old mistake people did in the past. I don't know where they're saying it coming from now. And every time the police director speaks, thank God the president we have for donating us this car to fight, to help to fight. Then the question that came to my mind was, are these cars donated by President we have personally? I want to know whether the government purchased this car for the police. Because the police director, every time they say, oh, I want to say thank God to President we have for giving us 4 new brand cars. Now, it's not a statement from Metro made the Venezuelan dictator. It says that the president can just get up and give a goodwill to any institution. The president works for the people. He got a salary. He's not supposed to use the salary to buy a car for the police or for any government institution. So I want to know from the director of police, these cars, whether it was purchased by President we are personally or it was fund allocated in the central budget. And not the government to budget these vehicles. Because the police director continue to make this statement, and I started to wonder now, what happened? Why the person will just take the money to buy a personal car for the police? I want to know that. That's another issue that I want to know. Because it's not how the government should work. That people should take, the person will just take the personal money and give it to buy a car for the police. And the director continue to make these references. So that's one of the points. On the issue, I think Mason is the contributor from Dallas. I think that Mason. I think that him. The statement of government not explaining to the people or not telling the people the truth. But I agree with Mason, but you might take on this thing here. During the campaign, I might be wrong, but maybe you want to like you. During the campaign, the president, we had the CDC-led government put up any policy statement to the public outlining the vision. I want to see that statement before the election. I did not see that statement. It was never. So you know what I would say? President,
No, but I was going to say they came back later and gave you a pro-poor agenda.
That's what I'm coming to now. During the campaign, President Weah CDC never put a policy statement. So that these are the things we're going to do when you give us power. They did not put it up. I didn't see it. When I heard President Weah speaking one time, when I elected 90 days, I will create 8,000 of jobs. That was a verbal communication. It was not a policy statement. And with that verbal communication, they can't tell you today. Every time I ask how many jobs, private sector jobs the government has created, nobody can give you any number. Then they wait after the election. People continue to ask the same question. It was 3 months later. They came up with it before when they drafted the pro-poor agenda. Now, that is to tell you that people had no working document at all, nothing. If you did not tell the people at the initial stage what you're going to do, you assume power that it took you 3 months to come up with a policy statement. How possible that you're going to implement the policy? It was never on your radar. It was never produced by you. So, like someone that you're trying to implement it, it's difficult because you didn't plan for it. It was not nothing you planned for. And these are some of the issues I tell people. Nobody should tell me about President Weah, the CDC-led government. They never had no policy statement. Never. So the key to power, when we assume power, then we start doing trial and error. Then when we try everywhere, okay. If they want anywhere, then we'll go back. And this is where we are. The pro-poor agenda, it was people that drafted up 3 months after the election. So it was not something that CDC had worked on for the past 12 years. Look, these are the things we do when we get to power. No, it was never outlined. So how can they come back to tell the Liberian people anything? They didn't tell the Liberian people anything from the beginning. So today they can't come back there. They didn't tell them. But again, the people look at individual. They didn't look at the country first. They put individual first. And this is what happened. Anytime you put individual first before your country, this is the result you have. Now, here is the thing here. We're talking this thing here. I'm up for development. Don't get me wrong. I'm up for infrastructure development. I'm up for any development that will uplift the country. I'm up for it. But be sincere again. We see all these groundbreaking ceremonies. The fund is not on hand for most of the projects. They have to wait for time for international organizations to release these funds. So you go and break ground, 3 months, 4 months, nothing taking place. The scheme has gotten out already. That spirit is gone. Because while you don't have the money, you're waiting for people to come, but to prove a political point, you'll go, we're breaking ground for the other area. We'll break. And these are the things. Why do these things not to create to score political point when you know that it will not work out in your interest at the end? Because the moment people don't see the project kicking off, they start questioning you. I listened to somebody yesterday, the guy came from Morovia. They were in Morovia, I think, for a week or so. They told me, they were saying that, hey, the rifle, they see no what's going on now. What? The man came from, this is a renowned person, not the other person. A prominent son from Liberia King. The man said, hey, I just came from Morovia, 1 or 2 weeks in Morovia. The whole route here, you can't see no what's going on. What happened? Same last day, they talked about the project. They were going to complete by this time. Nothing happening. These are some of the things some are talking. Do not overpromise these people. Do when the fund is on hand. You want to take that, but they don't do it. The last I want to hear is them, Nathaniel Mangue thing is. You know, it's sad for Mr. Mangue to be counting people who from Lofa County in the government. By the way, Mangue was born in Lofa, but he's not from Lofa again. He's from Boko, you know. That's his home. He's not from Lofa again. So he can't say oh, I'm from Lofa. No, he's not from there. He's from Bopol. That way he represents, that way he comes from, everything he's talking. But the issue is that you counting people in Lofa in job. How many of these people won't talk about jobs? You talk about ministerial positions. You're not talking about civil servant. How many of these people that you see that having cabinet position in this government that you can count on? Maybe one person is a foreign minister that maybe I know, maybe the next one is the deputy minister, maybe locally. Or who else is he from Lofa? How many cabinet ministers he have from Kenmore? Nobody that I know. How many cabinet ministers he got from Bomi? No. How many cabinet ministers he got from Haigiri? I don't know. How many cabinet ministers he got from Bon County? How many cabinet ministers he got from Nima County? So Monday, don't go this route. Don't go there. Don't talk about this thing here to can't start naming people. Because the reality is there. Don't go there. This is the same thing you people went after Ellen. That she brought her relatives and people around. Today, you see one ethnic group dominating the government. Are you seeing that? In the entire country, you cannot find no other ethnic groups from other tribes that are competent and capable to do the function. No. But you have decided to go with people that say, it's your time. And this is what you're doing. But yesterday, you were pointing finger at other people who were in the position that they were doing something bad in the country. Today, you people talk about nepotism, favoritism. Talk about Congo people are this. But look at you people. It's so Yagbawo today in the legislature. Oh, Yagbawo. Oh, Yagbawo. No more Copa, no more Dennis, no more. Yes, it's all Yagbawo. And what are the policies you've been adapting to improve Yagbawo brother left? There's no policy. Laws are in act. You create extra means that you should drive on. You allow in Moravia, Tower North create the extra lane. Tower government North create the extra lane for legislature and judicial official minister to ride on. Tower government never created extra lane. But today, Yagbawo have created task law to create extra lane for them. People driving on the opposite side of the road in the country. That never happened on trouble. You and I were in Liberia, in Moravia. Never happened on trouble. They not happen on a door. But today, this country, Liberia, people drive on the opposite way because they say they are minister or legislature. You endanger other people's lives. But yet, what people come to say, the government is doing well. How can the government be doing well with all these kind of things? Schools. There was all the government doing good for school. That the bullet the other day, I think you saw the tape at the interview. That the bullet said, the free education, the university of Liberia cannot come with 800,000 because it will cost the government of Liberia $2.8 million. The minister of finance said they can only pay $2 million. So the 800,000, where will it come from? That the bullet said, well, his words, the government did not do their homework. It was an impulsive decision the president took. Never consulted the family of the university to tell them how can we implement the policy. Is it possible now? No. Today, in the legislature, people testify from Grand Crew, Milton Tiago, Sano, Bapo. The people say teachers are not in classroom, people are not working. Schools, some of the schools are closed because no teacher. But you come out and say, oh, the policy we're doing is fine. But let me just leave it on that note. The development project can go on in Liberia. But the bottom line here, if people cannot afford to put food on the table, people cannot afford to send their children to school. President Weah will not be elected. Someone say he's going for 2 years. I don't know. They will perform another miracle again. But today, people cannot afford food to eat, no job. And they're going to elect the same people. Well, I always say, let it happen again. That's Liberia. Thank you and have a pleasant good night with your
liberal idea. Thank you, Mr. George. Thank you very much. And I know I'm going to have to, Professor and Mr. So, I'm going to have to contend with you when you come Wednesday. But as usual, you guys can't move me. I'm a liberal, and I thank you very much. Thank you. All right, folks. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Appreciate it. All right. Good night. Okay, folks. Sam Sinto, LeBron Popular Radio, sitting in tonight for Mr. Alfonso Zionso. I said I was only going to call his name 2 times, but I think I've called it so many times tonight. So I think he should be happy. There's no reason to fire me now. This is Freedom Watch, of course, Mr. Soul Show. And he's deep undercover doing some serious journalistic investigation. And so he will be back. And we'll be back here again Wednesday. But I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm going to pick up this story again. But I'm going to go a little bit deeper than that, because I'm going to be able to play some audio, video from the Mr. Suru, and hopefully by then too we will have more information about Mo Ali, and then we'll have that discussion. My point here tonight, folks, before you go, is not to degrade or to blame or to say who at fault. I'm just saying we Liberians have to be very careful. Specifically, young Liberians, sophisticated young Liberians in the diaspora that continue to pour millions and millions of dollars in Liberia, building their own property, sending money to family members and what have you. We cannot afford to have people scatter and have to scatter all over this place again. So I just say, let's try to be careful with one another. That's all I'm saying. But I'll do this again tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll have some more information on that, add some more information on it, and see how far we're going to go. Other than that, I would say thank you very much for joining us, sitting in tonight against Mr. Samson Toll for Mr. Alfonso Zionso, Freedom Watch. I'll say good night to all of you, and please join me tomorrow night, where you will have a real liberal conversation with the liberal Samson Toll on LPR. I'm not going to let the conservative old man, Pat Joyce, Mr. So, and Professor Zahro to dislodge me from a liberal view. They're not going to make it. Through your damn, they can get out on me. But you know me. You know the liberal already. I got it under control. They can make it with me. You saw Mr. George on what was it, Friday or Saturday? No, I think it was Thursday. He didn't show up because the liberal was in charge. So as a liberal, these people cannot make it. So don't worry. I got your back. I am the counterweight with their conservative view on this platform. I am the liberal. With these people conservative view on this platform, I'm the counterweight. So I got your back. Just whenever we come on, tune in, and you will truly enjoy yourself. We have the professor, who is a diehard CDition, and we have Mr. Ibn Josh, a far-right conservative, and Mr. Alfonso Zionso, who is say he's neutral, but far-right conservative, and me, the liberal progressive. I'm here as a counterweight to them. So please tune in tomorrow, where the real liberal will be able to tell you what is happening in their neck of the world. Other than that, I will say thank you and good night to all of you. Please join us on Wednesday, where I will let these people know, these conservatives, that their view is not sitting well with the Liberian people. The Liberian people are liberals, and they will not allow people to come in with a conservative view and fix it in a color. They fix that conservative view and put it in a color and can't deliver it to us, because we Liberian people, we like color business, so you can't bring a conservative view and can't give it to us in color. I will open it and show the Liberian people this is not liberal. This is not liberal view. And me, as a liberal, I will fix a real cornbread, liberal cornbread, and give it to you. How's that? Samson told Labron Publico. Thank you very much, and please join us again, and then we'll have fun together. Good night, folks.
na miteki likambo nasali te bakopanzanga sango Kinshasa mobimba bakotongonga kombo na ngai ekomango lisolo ya bato soki bakolia po batongoko bafingaka nsima basambwisanga natula te ope nazanga te nazali na mobali oyo akokanga na makambo maso nalingaka oyebisa baninga na yo banda lelo bosukisa na kombo nanga ezali mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa ezali mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa kobotalelanga bana yanga molimo na miteki likambo nasali te bakopanzanga sango Kinshasa mobimba bakotongonga kombo na ngai ekomango lisolo ya bato soki bakolia po batongoko bafingaka nsima basambwisanga nazali na mobali oyo akokanga na makambo maso nalingaka naye lelo na lopango na bino mpo nayebisa yo oyebisa baninga na yo banda lelo bosukisa na kombo nanga mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa ezali mobali na yo azali mwa serie soki aye kotala yo mosala na ye kotala basi nyonso ya kartie na bilongi mpe kopepapepa mobali yango kowapi ye natala na miso na ye na tembe o mama na ye
na bino naye bobeta ngai naye tosukisa ye ekwekese ya mobali ngai na bino tokowela sapato etengama simisi pasuka na mokongo naye 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 naye